Amen. And I'm not going to preach.
Well.
But I did want to say, act up. Act up.
Act up.
Fight back.
Fight back.
Fight AIDS.
Fight AIDS.
There you go. Y'all still alive. You know, it's sad that we have to sit here and go through this as often as we do. And it seems like we never quite turn the corner. As soon as we get there, something happens to try and cut us off at the knees, and we have to stand up and fight all over again. I'm sitting here and I'm listening, I'm thinking about what our Lieutenant Governor said about how the disease itself has browned, how the persons who are being diagnosed nowadays are Black and Hispanic, how that's a community that we've kind of left out. But it bothers me because there's no other community that I know of where we will not fight for those people who are less empowered than we are. Ever since I've known this community, we've always stood together. Either we stand up together or we all fall apart.
That's right.
This is a time for us to really take a look at that. Whether it's black, brown, white, or yellow, we have to stand up. The major dollars that are being cut or have been cut have been dealing with prevention. If we stop putting money into prevention, then the same thing that happened at the beginning of this epidemic will occur again.
My Lord.
This is nothing but an epidemic waiting to happen. And the sad truth is the current president is the one who started the 2030, to get to zero by 2030. And now he does this. It's amazing to me how much we've gone, how far we've gone, how far we've come, you know, with regard to HIV in this country. Where if your blood is undetectable, and by and large, if you're on Ryan White, your blood is undetectable because we're like 93 percentile, you know.
Yeah.
We are doing what we are supposed to be doing to get it down to zero. The last time that we checked in our state, we had 220 new diagnoses. And then the thing that kills me is we get these new diagnoses, the vast majority of those people are what? Black and brown people, again. I sit up and I listen to the statistics when they talk about black women. In this country, the women, out of all the women in this country that will get HIV, that will be diagnosed with HIV, black women will be 70% of the people diagnosed with HIV. If you talk to those women, 65 to 70% of them will tell you they got it from a heterosexual black male. Now, if we stop testing, how are we ever going to get a grip on that? We can't leave any part of our community behind. We have to be able to stand up and make sure that we do what we're supposed to do. I was glad that the legislators came out. I was glad the Attorney General came out. And Barry, just so you know, he went to school to learn how to be an activist. He went to school to fight. That's what he went to school for. How do I know that? Because I went to the same schools. And that, as a matter of fact, a friend of mine said, yo, I'm glad to see you still standing. I said, bro, we was trained to do this. That's what we went to school for, to learn how to fight. And I need each one of you to think about something. God has blessed all of us with a gift.
Yes.
He has blessed each and every one of you with a gift. The question is, are you going to exercise that gift?
Yes.
Are you going to exercise that gift so that we don't wind up in the same predicament that we used to be in when it was an epidemic called HIV and AIDS? Exercise your gift. How do I exercise my gift? Well, you have some legislators here, but you got a whole lot more inside.
Well,
get their telephone numbers, call them. And I mean call them on a regular basis. And I mean call them to account. What are you going to do to make sure that we have the funding that we need? I just came back from the AIDS awareness or AIDS watch down in D.C. And where's Frank at? I saw you a minute ago. Frank was down there. He got on his shirt. This is what an AIDS activist looks like. You'll find him. My fiance Connie was there as well. And it was a battle because we wound up sitting there. Actually, I sat up in a meeting and I was listening to everything that everybody said. And sadly, what I actually heard them say was they were going to fight for everybody except for heterosexual black males. And the folks that know me know I ain't gonna sit down on that long.
Nope.
I tried the best I could, sat there, didn't say nothing for the first plenary session. The second plenary session started, and they started doing it again. And in the middle of the session, I had to stand up and let 500 plus people know that's not going to happen. Outside in this community, the LGBTQIA community is the most stigmatized group there is. Inside of our HIV community, heterosexual black males are the most stigmatized group of people there is. We can't afford to stigmatize anybody.
That's right.
We should be the ones fighting for everybody. HIV doesn't care what color you are.
Tell it.
HIV doesn't care if you're big, tall, short, or small. HIV is out to kill everybody that it can. But we're out to save everybody.
Yes.
Let's do everything that we can to save everybody. All right? There's nothing for us without us. That was the original saying. There's nothing for us without us. If you want to get to the end of HIV, we've got to bring those people in who are most affected and allow them to fight and go into their communities and fight. I'm glad to see, well, pass it on, but I'm glad to see that he was here. I was going to get him, y'all. He gone, so he can get away with it for right now. But the thought that I had when it came to that, and that with all of us, we have to be responsible for the least of our community. The least of our community. We're only as strong as our weakest link. We need to go back and strengthen those that have been left behind so that we can get to zero with HIV. Because it is doable. We can get to zero. We have to make sure that we have that money in place. We cannot allow them to diminish it, to decrease it in any way, shape, form, or fashion. We have to be able to make sure that we stand up. Stand up!
Stand up!
Stand up!
Stand up!
Fight back!
Fight back!
Fight AIDS!
Fight AIDS!
Thank you,
And thanks,
Mr.
John.
McGuire.